Xârâcùù, or Kanala, is an Oceanic language spoken in New Caledonia. It has about 5,000 speakers. Xârâcùù is most commonly spoken in the south-central area of New Caledonia in and around the city of Canala and the municipalities of Canala, Thio, and Boulouparis.Xarâcùù is a strict SVO sentence structure with few exceptions. Efforts to determine how the language evolved to the present has been met with difficulty due to Xârâcùù's lack of reflexive markers in established Proto-Oceanic forms. Xârâcùù has been taught since 1980 at the primary level in the popular Kanak school Kanala, only establishment of its kind still existing in 2013. The students can then join public education. The language is also offered at the private Catholic college Francis Rouge Thio and public college Canala. Alphabet. Xârâcùù is written with the Latin alphabet combined with many diacritics and digraphs with a total of 61 graphemes. This writing system was developed in the early 1980s by linguistics laboratory Thio. Previously, missionaries used to transcribe the language in the same handwriting as the Ajie language. Xârâcùù has 27 consonants, some of which are nasalized plosives, pretty typical of Oceanic languages. Xârâcùù has 34 vowels, 17 short, all of which can be elongated. Phonology. The language has 26 consonant phonemes, 10 oral vowels, 7 nasal vowels, and 17 corresponding long vowels. Current research has shown that there are many of phonemic contrasts, which leaves little room for allophonic variation. In comparison to other Oceanic languages, Xârâcùù's noun phrase structure is a little different. Most of the vowel modifiers in Xârâcùù come before the head. Some articles that feature this include a singular, dual, k acute pausal, and me plural. There are several different morphemes for 10 and 15, which are just examples of a quinary numeral system. The numeral style of the language allows for few numeral classifiers that often only occur as suffixes to the number 1 and as prefixes to all of the other numerals in the language. Orthography. Xârâcùù orthography follows many of the same principles of most other New Caledonian languages. The orthographic representations of consonants are fairly transparent due to the use of only open syllables being permitted. Digraphs are used for a number of phonemes. Examples include BW, GW and NY, which are represented by MBW, NGW, N, and unusual ones are CH4 and S4C. A large amount of vowel contrasts and the inclusion of vowel clusters and large vowel length means that accents and other diacritics have to be used to represent vowel phonemes. Grammar. Xârâcùù has at least 17 prepositions that are known. At least half of the prepositions refer to direction or locations. A few specific prepositions express types of commutative relationships. Possession. Indirect and direct possession that is found in many Oceanic languages is apparent in Xârâcùù but have a slight variation in the language itself. These phrases demonstrate that inalienable nouns are directly possessed and the possessor, whether being pronoun or noun, is being directly suffixed to the possessed noun. Indirect possession comes in two syntactic types. Certain possessive classifications have possessive pronominal suffix or are joined by the possessed noun. These classifiers usually refer to food anene, starchy foods aneki, meat or wine, food to be chewed anex, drinks a winye, tubers to be planted or harvested nenge, and goods possessions or ngee or e. There are also three other qualifiers including zu, a topic of storytelling, wa, a passive, and ria, general. In these cases the possessed noun comes first, followed by the classifier and the possessor. A pronominal possessor does not occur as a suffix but rather a free form. Morphology. There are only a few forms of verbal morphology in Xârâcùù. These include the non-productive transitive suffix re, the causative fa, the resultative state of me, and the intransitive isu. While transitive suffix do exist, they are few and far between, leaving the language to follow a strict SVO format for morphological marking. The examples also show that the object of a sentence can be topicalized by fronting the transitive suffix, as in via moving to the front of the sentence in example 2. There is also reduplication, which acts like a function's intensifier. While there is a small amount of verbal morphology, each verb phrase can contain a preverbal subject marking pronoun. Subject and predicate phrase order is unmarked in Xârâcùù. There are 10 tense aspect markers and one or more modifiers can be included. As seen above in example 1, pre-verbal subject markers are unused if the subject in a noun phrase, but they're okayed when there is a topicalized afterthought subject that follows the verb, as seen in the second example where pa-dopper appears at the end rather than the beginning. Polar interrogatives also exist in Xârâcùù but are marked by the particle k. The k article follows the constituent that is the focus of the interrogation. In comparison to many other Oceanic languages outside of New Caledonia, Xârâcùù uses unusual phrase structure for nouns. The modifiers precede the head and the only thing that follows are demonstratives and markers of totality. Subject and predicate phrase order is unmarked in Xârâcùù. Current status. Currently Xârâcùù is considered a recognized teaching language and culture in New Caledonia. It is predominantly used as the main language in the Numer area. The language is not considered an endangered language by UNESCO due to it being one of the most spoken languages in the area, with more than 90% of Kanala residents being able to speak some form of it. Xârâcùù is the fourth most spoken language in New Caledonia. There is a teaching school in the Canala area, but the most usage of the language happens in the home. Xârâcùù is being taught in the Canala area due to the EPK or École Populaire Kanak that was founded by Maria del Necero-Joradie. It is the only language that is being taught in the area and is taught in nursery, primary, to secondary schools, Thio, and in kindergartens in La Foa and Saramea. Example phrases: Da regular da Nargina. All because of that fateful day. Iwakat name. Wait du pain water. He asked for news sen xwata dobwiket. She would not listen to what you said. History of a flower. A traditional Xârâcùù short story about a flower and a girl who speaks with the flower and hear its life story. Small chronicle Na Xârâcùù. A small poem about the sky and the land of Kanala. Yari Kizokwaikar. History. A historical tale about a taro field and those who tended it. Previous documentation. There have been 2 dictionaries written on the Xârâcùù language in the last 100 years, the most famous of which is Claire Moisefori's 1995 dictionary, the Xârâcùù language Thio Canala. Elements of syntax. The book contains a largely complete collections of words from the Xârâcùù language translated into French, the prestige language of New Caledonia. The dictionary also comes with a foreword written by the author outlining grammar, phonology, and syntax rules and some language-specific rules. The second is an English Xârâcùù language dictionary written by George William Grace in 1975 that is titled Kanala Dictionary. Examples: http www.speakers.Xârâcùù.org n 2011 10ths videos in Xârâcùù New Caledonia https www.youtube.com watch v = b+figdes